What up, this your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Kofi Weasons, one half of the Dirty Hills podcast, and you are watching the 1130 podcast. Not 730, but he is 730. But you watching my guy Dre from the 1130 podcast. Man, make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe button. And this is Dirty Hills Approved.
This is the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Enjoy the show. Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on the Wheels. Welcome back, you guys, to the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Yeah, you guys, man, this is episode 64. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Appreciate you guys joining me back here on this Friday, man. Wherever you listen to me at, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on YouTube, you dig, man. So I appreciate it so much. If you guys new to the 1130 podcast, make sure you head over to YouTube and smash the notification bell. And also subscribe. You gotta subscribe, for real. Like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And also, you guys, man, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, it's Friday, it's the weekend, it's upon us, man, so you know what that means. It's Talk Pro Wrestling, man. It's time to get into some wrestling. Nothing but some, crazy news, some good news also too in the wrestling world. So we're gonna dive all into that, you guys. Yes, I said I got an awesome guest, you guys, coming from the Chi-Town, you guys. Yes, my guy, Big Smash, you guys. Yes, he's an awesome guy, you guys. He's gonna be joining me here on the podcast. We was trying to make it work last week, but we're gonna make it work this week, you guys. So my guy, Big Smash, joining me here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, episode 64, you guys. So we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get into it. Big Smash, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on your platform.
No problem, man. No problem. We was just chatting before, man. You got an also dope podcast that we was, chatting through Messenger about Bet the House podcast. But like I said, we're gonna get into a whole bunch of, wrestling topics, some trending topics and everything that went down on the shows this past week. But before we do, Big Smash, for my listeners and viewers who are not familiar with you, man, tell them something about you.
I'm Big Smash, man. I'm host of quite a few different podcasts, but mostly Bet the House podcast. Big wrestling fan, so it was only right that we linked up and we discussed wrestling. I ain't never did one of these guest hosts, so it's an honor to come do this with you, though, man. So shout out to you and your platform. I thank you for having me. Bet the House, we drop brand new episodes every Friday. You can catch us every Thursday. If you got Roku, we on Grind City Media TV on Roku every Thursday night, brand new episodes. Live every Thursday on Instagram. Bet the House podcast on Instagram.
Hey, man, that's what's up. How long you been podcasting?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, cool. That's cool. December coming up is my 2-year anniversary of podcasting and stuff like that. So, man, that's been awesome, man. And like you said, man, you ain't never done these before. I just been, getting on the other side of being guest. I've been on a couple of people podcasts, been guests. It's been awesome. But yeah, man, we connected in the groups, man. Like I always tell people in some stories about these podcast groups, man, is how really major and big it is as far as networking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, I just reached out, man. I was just like, man, I'm trying to do some wrestling podcasts. And man, just a lot of people reached out. My man Big Smash reached out. And we here, right here on the 1130 podcast, man. We gonna talk some wrestling, man. How long you been a wrestling fan?
All my life.
Mm-hmm.
All your life. I'm one of them. I watch all wrestling. I don't know. I just, this, if you're a wrestling fan, this is the time to be a wrestling fan because the way everything is shaping out and going, you got everybody working together, everybody showing up on everybody's show. It's different. This is the kind of wrestling that I enjoy. Sometimes you get tired of seeing the same rivalries and the same battles and the same storyline. So it's good to have some fresh. So yeah, I've been a wrestling fan pretty much all my life. I'm 34, so I want to say probably about 6 or 7.
Okay.
Okay,
cool. That's about the same time. I've been a wrestling fan around the same, age that I came in. I think I was about 8. I'm 30. I'll be 31 in November and stuff. So you mentioned that wrestlers showing up on different shows. You dig that?
Oh yeah, I think that's how you get fresh storylines. You get fresh rivals, fresh matches you ain't never seen or never thought you was gonna see. So I'm digging the Forbidden Door and all that stuff. All that stuff is dope to me.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. The Forbidden Door is wide open.
Oh yeah.
Seeing a whole lot of what Impact doing with Impact and AEW. What type of Forbidden Door would you like to see? Superstar versus superstar, tag team versus tag team.
Oh man.
Or even women.
The one that I really will be waiting on is for it's so many I could think of. But I'm big on, I would love to see Lashley. That's my dude. I would love to see Lashley go head to head and take on Kenny Omega. That's never happened, so that would be dope. Tag team wrestling, I'm a big New Day fan, so I would love to see them go take on the Young Bucks. That would be a good matchup. It's a bunch of different ones that I like, but you see, WWE would never do that. They would never technically team up with their competition unless it was something in it for them. So I think what all these other companies are doing is dope because they're figuring out, okay, hey, individually, we ain't gonna be able to mess with WWE. One-on-one, we ain't gonna be doing. But if we work together, we ain't gonna take them over. But we could put a couple of dents in their armor, because they are expecting this. When a lot of these guys go to other wrestling companies, you thinking, yo, this is dope. And then the fact that Impact is letting someone that's not in their company wear their belt, I'm like, that's dope. WWE would never. They'd never let that happen. So all that is interesting, and I think a lot of, are you an AEW guy? Do you tap into AEW?
Yeah, I tap into it. I dig it, man. I always tell people I didn't grow up in the W. I mean, like the WCW was around. Like when I came in, wrestling, it was around the Attitude Era, so I was a WWE.
WWE that was a fun time.
Yeah,
to be a wrestling fan, man. The Attitude Era, Monday Night Nitro, the Wars, all that. Yeah, that was dope. That was a dope moment.
Yeah.
So this gives me them type of feels, not quite, but it gives me them type of feels, and I grew up off the era of DX, the Wolfpack, NWO, all that. It'll never be a repeat of all that, but Bullet Club is giving me them kind of vibes. So it's like, I'm intrigued to see where they going with all these matchups and storylines. What about you?
And I'm definitely intrigued. I'm really intrigued. Like you said, you mentioned the New Day versus the Young Bucks. And I was on Twitter. I was on the Young Bucks Twitter. And they was just, they said something like, one day we're going to face the New Day. And I thought that was just so hilarious, though. But these mixed matches and stuff like that, man, is real. It's awesome. I would love to see like the New Day. I mean, excuse me, not the New Day, but the Usos versus Proud and Powerful from Santana and Ortiz and in AEW. I thought that'd be a really, really dope match. It's just it's so many. It's so many though. You mentioned like I said, what a time to be a wrestling fan. And even in the Attitude Era with WCW and WWF, man, it was just through the roof. But now with wrestling, just like you said, with the Forbidden Door open up, you have AEW doing what they doing and WWE doing what they doing. Man, it's hot, and that's really I got into AEW more so, but I watched the Impact, and I still do. I got back into it, but it took a slump for a while, and I think with AEW, it brings back that, like you said, WCW feel, where it's like, oh man, like this is pretty cool, and like you said, man, what a time to be alive, and I really dig it. I really dig it though. I really dig it. You mentioned Bobby Lashley. You said Bobby Lashley versus Kenny Omega. Bobby Lashley right now. I was gonna get into this a little bit, but there's no need to wait. Bobby Lashley, of course, is going into SummerSlam against the Goldberg. How do you feel about that?
They just let me know they running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing the writing for WWE right now need to go jump off a bridge, and because the writing sucks.
Yeah.
Honestly, it does, because what you're doing is you're telling us that, hey, we're screwing up. You know, we let Bray Wyatt go. We let all these guys go who had some kind of buzz, and now we're going to force feed you guys Goldberg. Goldberg showed up twice in the last year, and he automatically gets a title shot. Goldberg, that aura that Goldberg had around him, it's not there for me anymore.
Nah.
Like, he can't carry a match. He can't, these little 5-minute, 6-minute matches, he just doesn't do it for me. So naturally, I expect Bobby Lashley to win. But they could throw a swerve and have Big E cash in. I could see that.
Yeah.
They could have if they really want to do something, they need to have Brock Lesnar come on in after that. And we need to get Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. We've been waiting on that for years. They dropped the ball on Undertaker versus Sting. We all was waiting on that for years. So now it's like, okay, it's like anytime the fans want something, they don't want to give it to us. They want to give us the opposite. Bobby Lashley is having a hell of a run. To me personally, I think they ended the Hurt Business a little bit too early. Yeah. They ended the Hurt Business too early. They should have kept that going. That's the thing. But Bobby, I think Bobby beats Goldberg without even trying. But then I think they throw a swerve and have Big E cash in, because I don't think Big E will make a good champion. I don't know, because they've tried to get Big E to be a heel and it didn't work. They tried to get Big E. Big E is a good wrestler, yes, but all the number one contenders you are eliminating them. I think Randy Orton's hurt. You let Bray Wyatt go. You let Malachi Black go, and y'all dropped the ball on his paperwork, which I don't know how y'all do that. You let Braun Strowman go. It's like, I guess the only thing they really can do is bring back Goldberg, bring back The Rock, bring back John Cena, bring back, Brock Lesnar, because they really don't have no number one contenders over there. Like, if you look on Raw, it really ain't nobody on Raw that you could say, man, they would be a good champion. Kofi is probably Kofi. They got AJ Styles in this tag team shit. When I feel like,
oh man,
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, they got AJ Styles in this tag team, and they got AJ Styles looking like he a punk. Like, y'all don't understand. AJ Styles was a champion. Why do y'all have teams cutting AJ Styles off in the ring to stop him from tagging Omos? Like, AJ Styles is like the weak link of the group or something, or the tag team or something. Yeah, they writing just terrible to me. Like, AJ Styles been the Grand Slam champion, and you mean to tell me just last week when I was watching them go against the Viking Raiders, the Viking Raiders was destroying AJ Styles. I'm sitting there like, really? He's a former world champion. Like, this is what y'all do. So yeah, whoever's writing these storylines, I just don't like it.
Yeah, they all over the place, man. I'm gonna tell you that for a fact, though. With the Goldberg situation, though, I just think they don't, of course, have anyone else, for Bobby to face. And of course, Goldberg got this, legendary contract where he only compete maybe 3-4 times a year, pop up big events, blah 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 blah, whatever. Though, the fact of, like how you said it, I said Bobby needs to go into SummerSlam and defeat Goldberg is the same fashion that Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. That's what he needed to do. He needed to feed him just like that. He cannot go in there and have a 5 or 6 minute match, and the whole fans are going to sit on it immediately though, because nobody really wants to see Goldberg there. Like you said, it's all about him is gone. Like we don't want to see, and I hope they're not about to do a Rey Mysterio and Dominic 2.0. And now that his son back, I mean, kudos to his son that he grow fast. But I mean, like, come on, like I don't really want to see it.
And you know, Raw and SmackDown did the same freaking storyline to us, and they really thought we didn't pay attention to it.
They do that all the time.
You brought John Cena back. Roman Reigns say, hey, I'm not going to wrestle you. Then the next week, John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the world title. Mm-hmm. Then they did the same thing to us on Raw. Bobby Lashley say, no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to do it. Then a week later, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley has been announced. Mm-hmm. Like, why do y'all...
I don't even understand it, man. I want to know what happened to Brock Lesnar, though. Like, I mean, I thought that was the thing. I thought Brock Lesnar was supposed to take on Bobby. What, they couldn't get Brock?
No, I think they don't want to give us what we want. See, we want that. We want that match. You know, Bobby Lashley wants that match. You know, and for years, WWE drops the ball. You had Sting, you had Undertaker. You, instead of giving us Sting versus Undertaker, you gave us Sting versus Triple H.
Nobody wanted to see that.
We didn't want to see that. We didn't care about that. Then they tried to throw the NWO and DX into it.
To make them feel a little special and everything like that.
Yeah, but it was like, yo, y'all 10 years too late. Like, the aura ain't the same. We want Sting versus Undertaker. Y'all could have gave us Sting versus Undertaker in a cinematic match.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't even have to give us a real match. We know both of them old as hell and can only do these type of matches. So, hey, it's funny because Sting went to AEW and Sting gave 2 great matches.
Sure did.
The cinematic match he did, his first match in 5 years, was excellent. Mm-hmm. So it was like, y'all could have, I just think Vince didn't want to do it. If it don't make sense to him, he don't want to do it. And honestly, I just can't wait till Triple H take over, you know, because the stuff, like, it used to be a time. Here's the thing. WWE used to sign all their people. They used to sign all their people up 4, 5, 6 years so they couldn't go nowhere else. Then they put the 90-day clause on them. So, hey, even if you do leave us, you still got to wait 3 months, you know, before you do it. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why Samoa Joe didn't leave. They probably threw some money at Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe would have been a hot property if he had stayed gone. Mm-hmm. You know, the thing about it is WWE did a lot, and they did a lot. They took. Remember when they signed all TNA, all Impact people? Yeah. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, Eric Young. Yeah. They crippled Impact. Mm-hmm. This is what's happening with WWE now. AEW is paying attention. AEW is not gonna sign everybody, but they're gonna sign people that make sense to them. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. Vince McMahon was sitting here. Oh, AEW is not a threat. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. They hitting 1 million viewers a week.
Yeah.
They got another show coming next week. Like, you need to be writing better storylines, because the storylines you writing is shitty. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay. AEW. Did you see AEW last night? I mean, Wednesday night.
You damn right I did.
Malachi Black. They set Malachi Black up the right way. They had him beat Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes finna go take some time off. He trying to drop his boots off in the ring. Malachi comes back out and destroys him. That is good storyline. That's good storyline. The shit is going on with Chris Jericho right now. Good storytelling. You know what I'm saying? And you bringing a blast to the past. You bring Juventud Guerrero back. You had him wrestle Nick Cage. It's a lot of people that didn't know who Nick Gage was. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that didn't know who Nick Gage was, and a lot of people found out. You know, I just think AEW, I give it about 2 years before AEW is really, really, really the best wrestling company out. Give it about 2 years. The reason being because AEW is doing everything that we want them to do. You know what I'm saying? They're giving us the storylines. They're giving us the talent. They're taking. Have you noticed how AEW does their the old school wrestlers? They're putting them in spots where they can succeed. Hey, you're not stealing too much of the show, but we're also making you look good. WWE, you seen how they did a lot of their stars. Mark Henry, Big Show, Ric Flair, embarrassing them on live TV and you know, AEW ain't doing that. It's a lot of similarities and it's a lot of things that AEW does better, and it's a lot of things WWE does better. WWE is a machine. You're not, no matter what they ratings do, they just sold their properties for $1 billion. Like $1 billion.
Exactly.
You have somebody invested in your product to buy, feel like, hey, you are worth $1 billion. So I think they're forcing us, and then they still feel like Goldberg is still a factor. They still feel like Goldberg can get a pop. He can bring some excitement. But you got to understand, Goldberg, his last 4 or 5 matches, we looking like, yo, you ain't Goldberg. You ain't 173-0 Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? When they brought him back the first time, we felt that. Like, yes, they brought Goldberg back. He finally came back. He finally going to get the run he deserved. And then he won a match with Bray Wyatt that was like, what, 30 seconds or some shit, some stuff like that. And it was like, nah, because I'm going to tell you, the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar matches was disappointing because it was like Goldberg can't wrestle. You know, you got to end his match. You got to end his matches quick. Like, he don't have that stamina to go. Yeah. But what I will say, the best thing that they got going is the head of the table storyline. Yeah. That's the best thing they got going. Now, because I think they setting up for The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Yeah. Now that is must-see TV.
Yeah. They are. They pay to see that. They setting up for that, right? They setting up what they're going to start at Survivor Series. I'm hearing The Rock is supposed to be confirmed for Survivor Series, and that's where they're going to probably put the coffin in the nail for that one, and they're going to do something with that one right there. But I think that's going to be dope. That's going to be real dope.
Yeah, and that you see when the Uso brother, he got in trouble.
Yeah,
he got in trouble with the law. They wasn't going to release him.
No, they wasn't. They'd be a fool if so.
Because they know it's certain dudes that can do just about anything. AJ Styles can do just about anything. Bobby Lashley can do just about anything. Roman Reigns can do just about anything. You know why? Because they know letting them go is food for the pickings. You know, just like USA and Peacock is upset right now because they're wondering how WWE allowed Daniel Bryan and CM Punk to go to AEW.
Yeah.
And they saying WWE is kind of brushing that off like it's not a big deal. Yes, it is. CM Punk ain't wrestled in 7 years. The day he show up, which I believe is going to be in Chicago, they got a show at the United Center. If you think CM Punk is not going to show up in his hometown at the biggest arena in the state, and we not gonna go crazy. It's been 7 years since we heard this man or seen this man in a wrestling ring. It's all too perfect.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan has a whole movement by himself. The yes movement is big.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do at that AEW event in Chicago when they were hitting at it. I didn't know what they was talking about. I'm like, the first dance. I mean, like, I seen the last dance. That's pretty cool. So I didn't, know all of it, but the fact that they got CM Punk and of course they were dropping it, hitting at it last week. Darby Allin, CM Punk. I think that'll be a dope match right there, going 1-on-1. But All of it to say the least, though. Do you think do you think Daniel Bryan can still, bring that magic on that he did in WWE?
Yes.
Do you think it's died down
because
yet?
I think they got smart writers over there. So if anything, he's gonna capitalize. Daniel Bryan might actually be bigger in AEW than he was in WWE. And WWE has a way of putting a cap on you.
Right about that one.
If you think about Bray Wyatt, the first of all, the Wyatt family, I thought the Wyatt family was so underrated.
Mm-hmm.
They had a dope faction. They was a dope group. And they had all these little trinkets. And then I thought that was dope. Bray Wyatt had excellent mic skills. Harper and Eric Rowan were the muscle. But Bray Wyatt wasn't no pushover either. But when he got on that mic, remember he would come out with the little lamp and the crowd would light up their little lighters. And he'd do he's got the whole world and all that, and everybody would join. That's a movement, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a freaking movement. And then they moved him over to the Fiend and the Fire Funhouse and all that stuff. Those, they were saying those were his ideas.
Yeah.
And WWE don't give you freedom like that. They don't let you, if Vince McMahon, if he don't have nothing to do with it, you ain't gonna get too much of a leash on it. Matt Hardy, for example. Matt Hardy had a dope thing going on. He had a dope thing going on in TNA. And then WWE re-signed him and they told him, hey, we're going to let you do your thing. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then they dropped the ball. When the Hardy Boys got back together, they made them champions. Cool. Then they dropped the ball. The New Day been running for 4 years now. Ain't never broke up. Ain't never did nothing to each other. Anything, they got a real thing of breaking up their groups.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't never broke the New Day up. The Hurt Business was the hottest thing they had going on. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Shelton Benjamin was whack. He's not a great wrestler like he used to be, but he's entertaining. Cedric Alexander could be something if they actually give him a push. It's like they don't give you pushes if you're African American. They don't give you too big of a push. I'm surprised they're giving Bobby Lashley this kind of push because you remember what they did to Kofi. Kofi was getting good. Kofi Mania was hidden. They had Brock Lesnar come beat him in 30 seconds.
And never got his rematch after that.
Yeah, never got his
rematch though. And I was a little offensive with Kofi though, how he didn't go after it though, but still he never got his rematch though.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, man. Then y'all got to remember the New Day was supposed to be a heel group when they first started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They came out with tired of this. We're going to get a change. We're going to do this. We're going to make it happen. And then they started dancing and shaking their ass and booty holes and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is what they see us as. They don't take us serious. They turned the New Day into a comedy group. And yes, they were successful, but it was like, yo, we don't want that. We won't, then they were saying they had a thing where they were going to do the Hurt Business was supposed to be like the Nation of Domination type of thing. Then they had Mark Henry, they had, Farouk and everybody. It was supposed to be. Then the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff started happening. So they were like, no, we're not going to do that. And I was just like, yo, you got to let these black wrestlers shine, So I'm interested to see the Goldberg, but I got a feeling on how it's going to go. It's not going to be, Bobby Lashley should destroy him without even trying, but they're going to do it in a way to make Goldberg still look like he's a formidable opponent because they're going to need to bring Goldberg back maybe at WrestleMania or something. So they're going to make Goldberg look like he can still go, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw The Undertaker again. soon.
Really?
Because you got to think they're running out of contenders, and then they're calling guys up from NXT. Every week they're bringing in new guys to NXT. They don't let them guys build up. They just throw them out there. Then the NXT guys that are getting called up, they're losing, So it's like my idea would have been, hey, NXT, SmackDown, Raw. We have a draft. We put NXT in the draft this year. We let NXT pick talent this year. I'm thinking, because now what you're doing now is, yes, you're giving Raw and SmackDown fresh faces, but you're also keeping guys on your roster that you're not using for Raw and SmackDown doing something in NXT. So it's interesting, but I think competition is good for everybody. AEW is going to make WWE step their game up. They keep saying, no, they're not competition, blah, 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 all of this, all of that. Yeah, it's good to say that when you're sitting on $1 billion. Yeah, that's good to say that, but you got to understand AEW got money too. AEW owner owns a football team. He got money. It ain't like this is why I was saying it gives me the Ted Turner, Vince McMahon vibes, because Ted Turner had money. Ted Turner just didn't have the patience. He was signing motherfuckers, but then, Eric Bischoff was a genius back then. The stuff he tries to do now, which is the reason why I think he got fired, it just don't work. Then you got WWE got some good writers. Paul Heyman is a good booker. He'll book you. He'll book some good matches. But I don't know who's over there writing their storylines because none of it's making sense. And if I see Charlotte Flair and ASH one more time,
hey man,
one more time,
man, one more time, like for real though. Like we seen Molly Holly, we seen the superhero gimmicks though, but those superheroes never became champion or almost superheroes or whatever the case may be. And we love the Money in the Bank, and I think they just threw it on her. They didn't have nobody else but you. Come on, it was 7 other women in the match though. Yeah. But like I don't know. Like, come on though, really, Nikki ASH, or however you want to put it. That I'm not believing in it. Like whoever writing their storylines are writing it, of course, for kids though. They literally writing it for kids though. So I mean, like, I'm not believing in it.
And that's the thing too. The PG-13 is ran its course too. Like when you think of wrestling, we want to think of blood and guts and sweat and we don't want to think of kitty control. Like, we bring it back to when wrestling was attitude, the attitude era. WWE could set the roof off if they go back to something sort of the attitude era. You'll never be able to reduplicate the attitude era, but if you add some of that flavor and some of that element to it, your ratings will go up. Your ratings are down right now because you're not booking right. You're not doing nothing right. You're catering to the kids.
They're catering to the kids. They're not booking right, like you said. And I think a lot of if they even do it right, and I think also too, they got a lot of sponsors and stuff. That's why they don't go back.
That too.
The wrestling now, just the wrestling is way by far better than it ever been. It's just the storylines. It's just stop giving them a piece of paper and telling them read it from word, and just go out there and just talk. Just be you. You feel me? If you don't believe in you, how you think 15 of 1,000, 1 million people watch you at home gonna really believe in what you do? Like, that's cool. Nikki ASH, almost superhero, believes that she almost a superhero. She watched the X-Men growing up. That's fine. That's dope. I like the Batman. I still didn't think I can go fly or whatever.
Facts.
But
I ain't gonna try to jump off no roof or nothing like that.
Come on, bro. Come on. But you feel me? So I'm saying though, like, come on, man. Come on. Like, they don't. is Vince, of course, wants to do what he want to do, but like when WCW started making moves, then he peeked over there and he was like, hold up, wait a minute, we got to do something different. All this feels is like, it feels like 1993, 1994 WWE right now. Besides what SmackDown's doing. SmackDown is in his own lane. They doing a good thing. Sasha, Bianca, Roman, all that. That's good. Great. They doing that. But Raw, it just feel like it's just back in 94 right now when they just doing a lot of kiddie and old school basic shit that's not working. They gave us Bobby Lashley because of what was going on in the world. They said, you know what? The black wrestling scene is really hot. It's really popping though. But you know what? We can't really have a group of black people doing their thing on Monday Night Raw. So no, we gotta break them up though. This past week on Raw was no reason for we to sort of revisit that for Bobby to fuck him up once again. I mean, you did what you did. Just move on. Like we all wanted them to be, together. So it's just like they gave us Bobby a chance, and I'm loving it though. I really am. But like you said, I don't know who else they can go. Like Brock Lesnar was the one they didn't give us that. We don't want Goldberg. But I mean, if I feel as though Goldberg is going to most likely spear Bobby at the end of that match, and Big E comes in. But I said it on the podcast numerous of times. It'd be great, and even Big E said it on Talking Smack, to just wait to maybe WrestleMania, who knows, and cash in on Raw. It would be more better and mean something more if he cashed it in on Roman than he would cash in on Big E. So hey, it can go multiple ways.
I think they're gonna run. I think John Cena's gonna disappear. I think this is just a one-off thing for him right now because John Cena got a lot of movies coming out, so I think this is a one-off thing for him. What I thought would have been dope is for Kofi Kingston to win the belt and then Big E cash in.
On Kofi.
Now you got another secondary storyline going on, because who would not want to see Big E versus Kofi? I think we have to, it's so many ways you could run with that. You get Xavier Woods involved in it. He has to pick a side. It's so many ways, so many storylines they can run with that. But again, they're playing it safe. They play it too safe to me. It's a bunch of different ways you could do it. The whole, as far as I think Ronda Rousey, they should definitely be trying to get Ronda Rousey back because the women's division is not as strong as it used to be, So yeah, you have to start trying to get these guys back and figure it out. I'm gonna be honest. Omos, the tag team division, Omos and AJ Styles, they're good champions. Omos is a big dude, but his move set is very limited.
I'm so glad you just brought up Omos. I'm so glad. I talked about it. I think a couple of weeks ago or last week. Like I see what they're doing with AJ Styles. Like you mentioned, Grand Slam champion. Man, AJ Styles, one of the greatest wrestlers of this generation, and they're kind of Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and AJ Styles and Omos in a way. Having Omos learn from AJ Styles, which is cool. It's great. But I think Omos should just be by himself. Yeah, he got that, he's, his way he wrestles and it looked kind of like, what you doing, Holmes? But, they always, when you're a big guy, you ain't got to do as much though. But I just think he should just be by himself and AJ should be doing other stuff, because it's no tag teams on Raw. It's really not. Yeah, you bring him back Ronda, which is awesome. Raw, it's just all the way around. Raw to me is just, it's nobody there that you just, once you turn on Raw, you'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see. And I mean, Drew McIntyre, he done his thing. He done ran his course, But I mean, like Keith Lee, you bring him back, you done leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth with that. I mean, yes, he got a great victory over, what was it, Karrion Kross this past Monday, and not understanding why you bringing up Karrion? I mean, I understand it. I get it. Yes, it's going to be on Raw after SummerSlam fully. But I mean, you bringing up Karrion Kross to have him sort of basically lose and win in a way against Keith Lee, who really, really needs it. But then he goes off on NXT and fake like he really strong though. Like, come on, like it don't make sense to me. It don't. Like we all know Jericho. I mean, Samoa Joe is going to drag him and whoop him at Takeover 36. But I mean, it don't, like, come on, the booking.
Yep.
The booking, man. But you guys, man, this has been an awesome show here on Talk Pro Wrestling, man. We're gonna move on here on the podcast. Finn Balor, we was mentioning, earlier how WWE just do some crazy stuff. But Finn Balor made his return to the main roster a couple of weeks ago when they actually came back with fans was really exciting. Now he's back. He's gonna take on Baron Corbin. How you feel about the new Baron Corbin gimmick?
I don't think Baron Corbin is a person. Baron Corbin is not a star to me. I think Baron Corbin, I never looked at him as a star. Even when they tried to put him on as the hired assassin for the Hurt Business, I was like, no, this not it. He doesn't scream assassin to me. He doesn't scream assassin. He doesn't scream hitman to me. So the storyline where he's broke and all of that, yeah, that works, but he's another guy I feel like that has a limited skill set. When they had him beat Kurt Angle in Kurt Angle last match and all that, I was just like, yeah, this is not it. Who is writing this stuff? Mm-hmm. Baron Corbin belongs in NXT. I think they give Baron Corbin too much TV time, and they're wasting Finn Balor's. They are wasting Finn Balor's talents. Finn Balor can actually wrestle. He has the demon gimmick, all of that. He has all these gimmicks, but they don't want to use this stuff. Mm-hmm. They don't want to appease to us. And it's like, yo, Baron Corbin, I like Baron Corbin. As long as I don't have to see him on my TV, I like him. But when I see him on my TV, it's like, I don't like this dude. Mm-hmm. He cocky, he's smug, and he doesn't, the King Corbin and all that, all that stuff, it just throws a bad taste in my mouth. I've never been a Baron Corbin fan. I don't think he has it. Mm-hmm. So I expect Finn Balor to win that. I expect Finn Balor to win that match. Interfered in the contract signing. So yeah, now you have to pay for that. Yeah. Corbin. That's what I'm saying. They got Corbin doing sneak attacks and I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in Baron Corbin as that dude. Now, if you said Drew McIntyre, if you said Jinder Mahal, if you said Bobby Lashley, be a hitman, make me believe it. Okay, yeah, I could believe it. Baron Corbin, Big E, Titus O'Neil, not Titus O'Neil, the other guy that Big E was in a rivalry with. Black guy.
Apollo,
yeah. If you tell me to, you guys show me that you could be a hitman, I laugh at you because it's like, I don't believe you. Mm-hmm. I don't believe you can be a fucking hitman. You are. I remember when they tried to make Big E heel when he was with Dolph Ziggler, and it was like, yeah, this is not working. Yeah, we don't believe Big E is a bad guy. It's not working. Then so I kind of figured out why he went to the New Day and why that gimmick worked for him. Baron Corbin, they have to do something with him. This whole broke storyline. I feel like somebody else had this storyline. And
they just gave it to Baron Corbin to make it work.
Yeah. This it should have been for somebody else, but not him.
That sounds real interesting. I can definitely believe that one right there. Definitely could believe that one. Another thing that went happen, man, on SmackDown that was pretty kind of convincing and predictable. I seen it happen though. But Sasha Banks made her return, and now most likely she's going to take on Bianca Banks at SummerSlam. How you feel about them two going back in for a round?
Yeah, you know what? Bianca Belair had a great run, but they're definitely going to give Sasha Banks the belt. No doubt in my mind.
Question: Do you think they should have put the belt on Bianca?
I think Bianca was good. You know, she was good. I don't know how she lasted this long, but I think it was good. It was her moment. It was her moment. Mm-hmm. But they saw how she was as champion. Now Sasha Banks is back. Now we're gonna give Sasha the belt. She's gonna right that wrong. No way they have Belair beat her twice on the main stage. No way that they let that happen. So I expect Sasha Banks to get the belt back. Okay. But then it's like Sasha Banks is a good champion, but then you have to decide how long is too long for certain champions.
But like that's a great point. How is too long? What was too long for a champion to be champion? What was too long? You know,
some of these guys be having the belts 300 and some days out the year, and you know, the 24/7 championship, for example. I think that's one of the dopest things they have going on because anybody can become champion. You never know. That's the excitement from that. So it's like when they have matches like this, Sasha Banks versus Belair, we like, okay, Sasha Banks is definitely going to get the belt. She's definitely going to get the belt. So it's not predictable. It's not, you know, if Brock Lesnar was to come back and go against Bobby Lashley, we know for sure that they're not going to let Bobby Lashley win that match. So it's certain ways that they don't become predictable. And in certain ways they'll throw a swerve at us, but then it's like, okay, now what you going to do? If Sasha Banks wins the belt, we're going to see her and Belair get a rematch, get the third match going. And then after that, it's like, who do you really have? They had the storyline with Nia Jax and the other girl and the little doll and all that. And then they got Bray Wyatt, the girl that's with Bray Wyatt, with Bray Wyatt.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, like I think she would have been a good champion. Bayley would have been a good champion. Like Charlotte Flair, I'm tired of seeing her as champion. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
She's been champion, 14 times? It's like, let somebody else eat.
A lot. She's been champion a lot. So Big Smash, what I'm understanding, so basically, to you would rather see the title frequently change hands.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you got Roman Reigns, look at Roman Reigns, for instance. Roman Reigns is not going to lose the title no time soon.
No time soon.
I don't see anybody legitimately worth beating Roman Reigns. You know, John Cena, yes, John Cena is the perfect choice. Do I think John Cena is going to win? No. John Cena is a part-timer. I would love to see John Cena win it, but
nah. Some people would love to see Cena win it though, but I don't think
we would love it.
Yeah,
but I think they're gonna keep Roman champion until it's time to take on The Rock. That's if The Rock decides to do it.
And if Rocky does, which I hope he does, Rock.
And Roman Reigns, they're gonna have Roman Reigns beat him, but they might have The Rock win and then The Rock drop the belt the next night or something like that. They're known to do some stuff like that.
Yeah, they are. They really are though. But Roman needs that win though. He needs that win. And the only way they're going to take the belt that I see taking the belt off of Roman is when it's all going to come back full circle is the bloodline. You know, sort of how it sort of started and with the niches and stuff like that and the complications, you know, that's how it's going to sort of break down. But it have to be somebody who's a full-time superstar that you're seeing on Monday Night Raw, seeing on SmackDown week in and week out. It have to be somebody, you know, within that. They sort of like, with the whole Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker. Hey, that was Undertaker's, call. He wanted Brock to do that. I thought it should have been someone else who would have still been here.
I definitely thought. I think we all hear the rumors. Undertaker had complete control over his character.
Mm-hmm.
Like he picked his matches, he picked his storyline, he picked it. That's what they said he wanted. And he did it. Wrestling again, WWE, the swerves and all that don't bring as much shock value. I think, like I said, they end a lot of their stuff too early. The Retribution storyline could have been dope. They didn't do that right. It's like a lot of these stories, they never stick with a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll try it out for a couple of weeks and then they'll move on to something else. So the Belair match, yeah, I think they tried it out to see how she would be as champion. And then they like, okay, all right, we got to mix it up. Let's bring Sasha Banks back and put that together.
That's a good point that you said that. I asked a couple of guests this question previously on the podcast. Do you think the reason why the WWE may not stick to storylines and stuff like that is because of social media?
No, I just think the WWE, I think maybe they listening to their sponsors too much.
Okay.
You hear all these stories in AEW about how AEW allows so much creative freedom. WWE's not doing that. They're not letting these guys be them. You're working these guys 340 some days out the year. You're not giving them, unless you're Triple H, unless you're Randy Orton, unless you're Vince McMahon, unless you're Roman Reigns, you really don't have John Cena. You really don't have the type of pool that you want. So you have to take what they're giving you. That's the reason why John Moxley left. He was saying it like he hated the storylines they were giving him. And these guys probably are paying good. WWE is probably paying very good. So a lot of these guys won't step up and want change. Mm-hmm. They just take what's given to them. So I think the storylines, the reason they're not doing it is because their sponsors are the ones that are putting the money. You remember the WWE show they had? CM Punk, he was a host. They didn't even give that chance.
WWE backstage.
Yeah, they didn't even give that a chance to really grow, because I think after like 5 or 6 episodes, they pulled the plug. Like, yeah, this ain't working. Like that WWE is not into the long storyline game. The longest storyline I've seen them do is the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Recently is the Bloodline storyline. And I see that, but then it's like I see that ending at WrestleMania with The Rock. So it's
that's interesting. That's really interesting. But that storyline for me, I can kind of like seeing that can go on for multiple different directions. It depends, especially when you add Rocky in it. You also got the Usos, who is cousins of The Rock, and The Rock and Rikishi cousins. It can go in so many directions.
All cousins.
They all cousins. There's a big old pot of family though. But it depends if WWE choose, the right way and do it the right way. And lately we all seen how WWE has been choosing their bookings and stuff like that. So time to tell. We're gonna move on, you guys, here on Talk Pro Wrestling before we wrap it on out of here. AEW this past week was pretty cool. What did you think about the Juventud Guerrero and Chris Jericho match?
I thought Juventud wrestled a great match.
Okay.
I knew he was gonna lose, but he made you feel like he was gonna be in it. And then, this whole Chris Jericho storyline is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. The reason why is because we know Chris Jericho wants to get his hands on MJF. So all these stipulations and all this is must see TV. It's dope all the way around. I'm loving where AEW has these storylines that pull you in. They pull you in. The whole Kenny Omega, Adam Hangman Page storyline pulls you in. They have a lot of different things. So I was excited about Juventud Guerrero. I was a fan of Juventud Guerrero. The whole, you don't get a lot of that nowadays. Nobody's really highlighting the high flyers. And when you see AEW, again, they put you in spots to not make you look bad. Juventud Guerrero is an example of that. Yeah, he lost, but you had feels because damn, this is really Juventud Guerrero. We're going back to the old era. When you bring guys like Chavo back, and when you bring Arn Anderson and all these guys, Jake the Snake, and you have all these guys like Jake the Snake still has some of the best mic skills in the wrestling business. Like he can cut a freaking promo. Mm-hmm. So when you bring back these old Sting is a prime example. They have Sting out. Sting don't do too much. He ain't still in the spotlight. You know he there. So yeah, I just love what they're doing with the storylines, and they tell a story. They keep you interested. They keep you intrigued, and they catch a lot of flack for signing all these WWE guys. But you got to think about it. Before these guys were WWE guys, who were they? They were somebody else's guys. So it's like, it's okay. It's the same thing happening in sports in the NBA. Everybody's moving on. Everybody's going to different teams. It's the same thing in wrestling. Who cares? I just want to see some good wrestling. I don't care what company you wrestle for. Just give me some good wrestling. Give me a good storyline. I'm a storyline dude. I want to be invested in this story, in this character, and why this is happening. So when I saw the Chris Jericho, I was like, I'm thinking like, okay, we're going to see Chris Jericho do the moonsault. We haven't seen Chris Jericho do a moonsault in a while. He doesn't do flips off the top rope no more. Mm-hmm. So when he did the Judas effect off the top rope, I was like, yeah, this dude here, he never seems to cease to amaze me. So it was a great match all the way around. It was a great match. The ending with Wardlow coming out there, attacking both of them, it gives me the vibes that Juventud is going to pop back up sometime in the future because, you know, so yeah, they did a great job with that match.
Okay, that's cool. That's real cool, man. Honest opinion, man. I like that. A little different from how I feel. I thought it was a great match. Me personally, when I was saying this to myself on Wednesday night, I was like, okay, I thought the stipulation was Chris Jericho had to win the match just by doing a move off the top rope. So when he did the crossbody, I was like, okay, the match is over. So I was like, He's going for a pinfall. I was like, oh, that's right. You got to pin him. You got to win it though. But I was like, also, what move was he going to do? And when he had Juventud Guerrero up there, I thought he was maybe going to do a power bomb. So I was like, what move was going to do? But
this is when I thought the lion salt was coming. You know, that he used to do a backflip off the top rope. I thought that's what was coming. And then they switched it up and had him do a Judas effect off the top rope. So yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, the Judas effect was dope because I don't think nobody expected him to really do it though. As far as Juventud Guerrero though, haven't seen him in a long time on WCW or just any TV in a long time. He did look good, a little bit what he was doing. I ain't gonna, but Jericho helped him out a whole lot though. He really did though.
I will say that, but shit. I don't know when the last time Juventud Guerrero wrestled.
Hey, me neither. Me neither. So that's why I say Chris Jericho, man, he's one hell of a. He's the GOAT. I'm gonna put it like that.
Yeah,
he'll
make you look good.
Yeah, he sure will.
Because he definitely turned Orange Cassidy into a star.
Come on, man. Speaking nothing but facts, man. Speaking nothing but facts. Yo, man. You from Chicago? What is it about wrestling in Chicago?
What you mean?
Like wrestling in Chicago, like Just wrestling in Chicago.
Oh, the wrestling fans, the wrestling crowd.
Yes.
Well, I know a lot of wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm.
So you could tell the wrestling crowd is there. AEW sold out in like 30 minutes. Sold the United Center out in like 30 minutes. So yeah, the wrestling crowd is always lit. I'm actually going to AEW Dynamite in September. I missed out on getting the August 20th tickets, but I already got mine for September. So I'm going to AEW Dynamite. So I'm when you bring me back on, I can answer that question more in depth because I'll be there and give you the feel for it. But I think it's a lot of fans there, and I think it is a wrestling stomping ground because you have to remember WWE has a stronghold on all these arenas. You know, I'm wondering how AEW got them to give them the United Center because the AEW shows that they've been doing in Chicago has been at the Now Arena. That's like 45 minutes outside of Chicago. So now you got the biggest arena in the state, and you're doing the AEW show. This is where I'm saying CM Punk is gonna be there. He has to.
And you know the crazy thing about that, WWE, I mean, if they have, I don't remember the last time WWE am going to the United Center. And I always thought, like, what was the deal with that? WWE always went to Allstate Arena versus
that too. I think WWE used to scare these arenas. They used to tell these arenas, hey, if you book this other wrestling company, we'll never come to this arena again. And the reason being, WWE brings in a lot of money. And these arenas get paid too off how much money WWE brings in. So yeah, these guys were scared to book other wrestling companies. So that's why I was like, damn, AEW must have had a hell of a presentation. They must have told them, look, we can make y'all just as much money as they can. We got this, and this plan. Oh, okay, let's get the ball rolling. You know, so now, again, I'm not buying the whole AEW is not competition because, again, they're selling out in 30 minutes. As soon as tickets come online, they're selling out.
Yeah, that's attitude era, you know, stuff right there.
Yeah.
You used to hear back.
It's gonna be all interesting. These next couple weeks gonna tell us what's really going on.
Yeah. Okay, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. AEW is doing big things right now. They really are. We're about a couple of weeks away from SummerSlam, you guys. Hey, yo, Big Smash, what is your favorite SummerSlam match? What do you consider is the best SummerSlam match?
SummerSlam. All right, so my favorite, AJ Styles versus John Cena.
AJ Styles,
one of my favorites. And then if you really want to go back, you got to go back and look at Kurt Angle and Stone Cold. You got the one of the matches that I think the Hell in the Cell with Edge and Undertaker.
Yeah, SummerSlam 2008. Definitely remember that.
Yeah.
I could never forget that, man. Yeah. I was drinking that.
So that would be my top 3 right there.
Yeah, I could never forget that one, man. I was drinking that night and went to sleep on the main event, woke up. Didn't even remember what happened in the main event until I got the DVD. So I'll never forget that one, man.
Can't forget the ladder matches, SummerSlam, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. I can't forget that either.
Okay. Yeah.
Dope match.
SummerSlam 2002. It's kind of like one of my favorite SummerSlams. Shawn Michaels returned, took on Triple H. You had The Rock sort of going against Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio. I think it was Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle. Yeah, Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle. Jericho versus Flair. You know, just so many big matches. So yeah, that one got to go down in history as being one of the dopest SummerSlam. And then SummerSlam's always got a heel turn sort of going down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Biggest party of the summer coming up, man. Hey, yo, Big Smash, man, I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Before you go, man, any shout outs, any questions, anything you'd like to say?
Man, like I said, thanks for having me, man. I love talking wrestling, so it works. It's a dope platform you got. Y'all keep tapping in with him, man. This is a dope little session. Bet the House podcast, all platforms that you listen to podcasts on. We on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Always betthehouse.com. Appreciate you for having me. And we out like that.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. That was dope, for real, man. You know you're welcome anytime. I can tell you like talking about wrestling just as well as I do, man. That's why I started this podcast, man, to have people on that love to chat some wrestling just as I do, man. So once again, you guys, go subscribe and check out Bet the House podcast wherever you get your podcasts is at, for real. And go subscribe to them on YouTube. Yo, Big Smash, once again, appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Big Smash, man, I appreciate you joining me here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling this week, man. It was awesome, man. You know it. It was awesome having you on, chopping it up about everything. You know, the crazy thing about each and every week when I do these podcasts, guys, man, I always have my notes to the side with me. And, you know, sometimes I don't need them. Sometimes, you know, I might, but man, my notes was, man, I might have, you know, went on my notes to talk about something maybe twice or maybe three times, you know. But, bro, like, we was just chatting it up, man, from everything wrestling, man. I appreciate you, Big Smash, for real, to have another brother on to just, you know wrestling, man, because like I said, and shout out to Helen from the Honestly Helen podcast, who's on EB Radio, with your man Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels as well. But, I was just on her podcast, so shout out to her, and look out for that, you guys. But just explaining, man, how growing up from the Black community, you don't really have a lot of Black, you know, friends or Black guys who watch wrestling. You know, they even talking about sports, who won this game, who did this. They talking about the draft, NBA, blase, or they talking about music or whatever. You feel me? Like, you watch wrestling, bro, you looking at, you get looked down or looked at as such. You feel me? So, man, it's like I said, also on Helen's podcast, it just been podcasting. My man Big Smash been doing it for 2 years. I've been grinding out it as a year and a half now, going on 2 years this December. But man, just connecting with so many Black and African American, you know, podcasters, wrestlers, entrepreneurs, just everything, man. Just love wrestling and just willing to come on the podcast to chat with me and to say, yo, I love the platform and everything. I dig it, man, for real. You know, we just got to keep it going. You got to keep it going, man, nonstop. So, man, shout out to everybody, man, out there. All my Black guys out there that's, you know, having a podcast or just out there wrestling or doing anything, man. Just everybody. Shout out everybody. For real. Shout them out. This was an awesome show. For real, man. It is Friday. Like I said, you guys, the weekend is upon us. So SmackDown is tonight, you guys. So we going to see what's going on tonight. We seen just like my man Big Smash was saying, WWE, man. They a little wishy-washy sometimes, but you got it going on, you guys, at SummerSlam. John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And we seen Cena come out there and steal the contract and signed it. I think a lot of people was very intrigued with Finn Balor. You know, Finn Balor and Roman Reigns, it was like, okay, all right. But we're going to get back to that, though. Like, because let's get back to that. And it's like the only thing with really storytelling is anything Roman Reigns is in. So now let's get back to it, because if I was Finn Balor, like, I want that match. And I'm going to handle Baron Corbin, and I want that match because you're not about to... And I want a match with John Cena. And you're not about to come and disrespect me, bruh. Like, that championship contract signing was mine. You came out here, Baron Corbin, I'm going to handle Baron Corbin, and I'm going to handle you, and I still want Roman Reigns because, for one, he kind of like brushed off Cena and said, oh, yeah, I'll fight you, and laughed at my face like, come on, though. Yeah, I might weigh 210 pounds, though, but come on, bruh. Come on, though. So I'm really loving, man, what they doing on SmackDown, you guys, for real, you guys. For everybody who checked out Impact Wrestling last night, what an awesome show it was, man. I'm loving it. Jay White is doing his thing. Chris Bay, man, I'm really digging this guy, Chris Bay. Really digging the Chris Bay guy, man. So like Big Smash said how WWE was picking AEW's superstars away for them and kind of lost their little feel. I'm kind of getting back into Impact, and especially with the fans, is really helping it. Speaking of the fans, that's really helping it. Like AEW Dark, man. AEW, man, is doing wonderfuls. It's doing wonderfuls. They are going through the roof, for real. Which I don't think is that AEW needs more shows. Yeah, they got Dark Elevation for YouTube. For people, I guess, who can't get cable. You'll see them on Dark. You'll see them. I guess that's for that aspect of it. But yeah, they have 4 shows, man. AEW Rampage, that's going to be lit, man. So I know everybody in Chicago and wrestling fans in general is going to go nuts, man, if CM Punk shows up there, man. For Vince, he must be tripping if he's talking about AEW ain't competition. You got to be shitting me. But come on, though, man. All of this seems just like nothing but WCW days. Like Big Smash once again said, man. Ted Turner had a bunch of money. Tony Khan, they got a bunch of money. They signing old WWE guys. AEW signing old WWE guys. And I think the difference is from then and now is now we want good wrestling. We want sort of an alternative. WCW, they didn't really care about having good wrestling, good storyline. They didn't really care after a while. They just wanted to just be better than WWE. They just wanted to be the number one. They just wanted to sell out more arenas. They just wanted to go to bigger, better. You feel me? And my man Laquan Johnson, who was on my regular podcast, sometimes bigger ain't always better, because when you have bigger, then you got to maintain that status. So, when they were trying to go up too big and big and big, then they had to maintain it. But they was in debt. They was in a hole. So now they folded. But let's hope that's be the difference, man, for the case for All Elite Wrestling. Like I said, I'm really, really digging what they're doing. The thing is, they don't need too many shows. They just need to focus on what they're doing. Now, and what they're doing is really great. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Big Smash, man, we got to talk about that 24/7 Joe, man, because that is crazy. He's like, that's one of the funny things. That is wild, man. Like, for the last couple of weeks, ever since they put that shit on Reginald, it has been horrible. What? Horrible. Like, horrible, man. Like, they can go back to our truth, bro. He can go back to our truth. He's a little bit more entertaining than Brad. Like, oh, my man, just flipping. Come on, man. Come on. But, yo, man, this has been an awesome show, you guys, here on Talk Pro Wrestling this week, you guys. I appreciate everybody who's joining me, has joined me this week on the podcast, whether you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Yes, smash the notification bell, like it, leave a comment, do all that great stuff, man. Tell me what you think about the show and how awesome, man, Big Smash was. For real, shout out to Big Smash once again, man. Thank you for coming on. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts is at, make sure you download the episode. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe, man. For real, leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on there, that would be great. Really great, you guys. And also, you guys, man, before I go, man, if you love the podcast and if you like it, click the link in the description, you guys, to support the 1130 podcast so I can keep, man, setting up this equipment, man, that, that I paid for, man, and I'm working, man. I ain't getting paid for that. I'm doing it, that I love it, man. So if you can help me keep connecting with a bunch of people around the world so I can keep bringing some dope content for you guys for each and every week, click the link in the description for a monthly subscription, you guys. 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, $9.99 a month. You guys, it's all up to you, man, for real. I appreciate it so much, you guys. But you guys, I'm about to get on out of here, man, for real. Enjoy the weekend, you guys. But before I do, you know what time it is, you guys. Don't forget, you guys, to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 1130 podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow the 1130 podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Yes, you guys. And the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. This podcast right here, you guys, is available each and every Friday, wherever you get your podcasts is at, man, where I interview some of your favorite independent referees, ring announcers, you name it, you guys, podcast personalities, just like my man Big Smash, you name it, you guys. But in the coming weeks, you guys, the 1130 podcast is about to get jumping, you guys. We got some dope independent pro wrestlers coming on here on the 1130 podcast coming up in the next coming weeks, you guys. Who? Well, you got to stay tuned and subscribe to the 1130 podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to be a guest here on the podcast, email me. That's the 1130 podcast at gmail.com. Man, for real, yo, man. I'm trying to wrap it up, man. Crazy noise trying to distract me. For real, you guys. If you would like to be a guest here on the podcast, once again, email me. That's the 1130 podcast at gmail.com, or just DM me on social media so we can get down. You know how we been, so we can work. For real, man. It's been an awesome show. It's been hot in here in DC, man. Ooh, the weather done turned back up. But I'm excited. Hope you guys excited. For real, I'm out of here. On out of here. You guys enjoy SmackDown tonight. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Enjoy you guys, man, for everybody in Chicago, New York, LA, DC, man, Florida, wherever you may be at, in the UK, Mexico, Canada, wherever you listen to the 1130 podcast, tell somebody right now. Yes, tell somebody right now, you guys. Oh, and before I go, you guys, man, shout out you guys to the Java Tears podcast, the Dirty Hills podcast, the Off the Top Ropes podcast. Shout out to all my wrestling podcasters out there, you guys. And once again, the Java Tears Nation pulled off one hell of a dope ass wrestling event, you guys. The Jobber Slam event above the ring last Saturday, you guys. Man, it was awesome, you guys. My man Shiz Lansky was live on IG, so I kind of tapped in. I wasn't there, man, for real. I wasn't there. I never been to New York there in my life, so I would love to go. Hopefully, man, to meet Dirty Hills and Jobber Slam guys, man, and girls. So it would be awesome, you guys. So shout out to the Jobber Tears podcast, and you know this podcast each and every week is Dirty Hills approved. Yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.